Yo, what's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Series 11 team building video, and today we're looking at Necrozma Dusk Mane. The day this recording goes live, it will be either on Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving, and for many of you, again, for Thanksgiving, I am very thankful that many of you have watched and tuned into the channel. Again, in October we passed 1,000 subs. I never thought we could ever do that. Some people noticed that this was just something that I started during the pandemic, just to have a little fun. I didn't think it would, I didn't think the channel would grow to something like this. So at the very least this year, I am very thankful to all of you, and I'm glad that I could at least teach you a little bit about competitive Pokemon. All right. So enough of the mushiness, let's get back to VGC here. So today we're looking at Necrozma Dusk Mane, and again, Necrozma is one of those steel types that very much missed and appreciated Dynamax format, right? Because the ability to increase its defenses with max Steel Spike and max Quake just makes it overall bulky while adding to its really strong attack stat. I don't know why this is 0 IVs. Just makes it a really good threat, and because you can Dynamax, it's also a very prime target for a weakness policy, right? So I put this in the same family as like a Metagross, a Solgaleo, and even to an extent Dialga, where these are like bulky steel types that like a weakness policy and very much enjoy Dynamax. Okay, you can even throw in the Clover Icon Celesteela in that mix. So how are we going to build Necrozma this time around? So we did Solgaleo, and we're more or less not going to take a rain route, but we're going to go a little bit different here. So you've heard of Lapdog with Laprazation. Well, I am thinking of something similar, but first let's see what we can do here with Necrozma. So I do like the option of going Trick Room on this, and I feel like you can get good speed control by going for Trick Room, just so that you can underspeed a majority of big threats like Azation or those big Sun teams, and then just take advantage of your slower speed and Dynamax and then just smash them with your weakness policy, potentially, right? So I do like the option of going Trick Room, and then this also gives you the option to flip said Trick Room if it's not in your favor. But yeah, from here, I feel like we can also go the other route and go Tornadus, right? And obviously we're going to go Prankster Tornadus. So let's just go ahead and reveal that GIF. So Tornadus earns our second slot here. And again, this is what we call a TailRoom team, where you have the option to go for Tailwind and Trick Room, depending on the situation. And it's really good in a best of 3, right? Because then your opponent has to kind of, almost guess. Not really guess, but like try and predict what mode you're gonna go with, and just having the flexibility of going for both Tailwind and Trick Room can really put pressure on your opponent and throw off their game plan to an extent, right? Because they might not be able to go slower than you with their Tailwind or Trick Room, and at the same time, they can't underspeed or outspeed you. So really cool to go both modes on a certain team like this. All right, and now from here, I do like the option to go with G-Max Lapras yet again. I'm gonna go shinier. I like purple Lapras, so let's just go ahead and reveal that GIF. So I like this core of Necrozma with a Tailwind user and a water user that can counter Kyogre, right? So because Lapras has water absorb, so Kyogre can't really touch this. Not well unless it wants to go for a max lightning, and some of them don't even have lightning. Some of them go with the ice move. So yeah, I feel like if Lapras can get speed control as well, then although it doesn't do as much damage or not nearly as much damage as Necrozma, the fact that you can go for an aggressive screen setter like a G-Max Lapras pays dividends in the long run, because once you have screens up, then your Necrozma is free to go with this move like Swords Dance. Okay, and then you can set up, and now even though you don't have your policy, you don't need it, because now you can just set up your Swords Dance and not take that much damage behind screens, right? And you always have a procer for your weakness policy in the Tornadus, and we'll talk about that move in a second. But yeah, we've got our Lapras. This is our Kyogre answer, and it's good against other flying types because you can click moves like Freeze Dry. It's just a strong ice move, and again, this is your G-Max Resonance when you Gigantamax, right? So then from here, what do we want? So I do like something that can abuse said Trick Room, and I also like something that can, you know, put pressure against Zacian. So I'm thinking Incineroar should come here. And this is what is good about Incineroar. You give the team Intimidate, and you give the team Fake Out, right? Because with Fake Out, all right, now you give Necrozma a chance to also set up Swords Dance, right? Because you can fake out the main threat and then just, you know, click your Swords Dance. So Incineroar earns the next slot on our team. All right, and then overall, it's just really good against physical attackers like a Calyrex, a Zacian, a Groudon. You know, these big physical uber restricteds that, you know, you just sometimes the screens is not enough, right? So Intimidate really helps. Okay, and then from here, now I want to try and now even more abuse my Trick Room. So although Incin is slow, it's not that slow. I need something slower, and why don't we go with a Redirection Mon on the team, and we'll go with the Amoongus in this case. So let's just go ahead and reveal that GIF. So the Amoongus does a lot of things here, right? Because you have Rage Powder support, so now you can set up either your Trick Room or your Swords Dance. Okay, because if you lead these two and you get your Trick Room up, now Amoongus can spore whatever it wants. That's not safety goggles, and then Necrozma can also abuse said Trick Room and then just, you know, click, you know, Rock Slides, Earthquakes, you know, whatever, Sunsteel Strikes, whatever the heck you want to run on this Necrozma. So, and it's good to have Redirection next to something like a Lapras, right? You know, because Lapras doesn't like electric attacks, so if you can redirect that into the Amoongus, you know, that's pretty good too. So yeah, and then again, this is just our main Trick Room abuser because we're gonna go 0 speed on this. But yeah, now the last slot is, I feel like another greedy Mon with Intimidate is gonna come here, something to protect Lapras against electric attacks, right? Because right now we have Tornadus that's weak to electric attacks, we have Lapras that's also weak to electric attacks. The Incineroar is going to help against Rillaboom, which Lapras doesn't appreciate, but we need one more thing for electric resistance, and that is going to be old reliable Landorus, and this is going to also help against the Sun matchup against, you know, Venusaur, Charizard, and Groudon to a degree, right? So let's just click that. So there's our 6, right? So again, you could even lead Amoongus Landorus, so this way you get Intimidate off, and then they potentially have to switch, right? If their main threat like a Zacian just gets intimidated, and if they switch, that gives you a free turn to go for your own Swords Dance, you know, and you can always redirect with your Amoongus, just so that you can get up your Swords Dance, and then if they knock out your Amoongus, then you can go into either a Lapras or a Necrozma in the back, and then just, you know, dynamax and go for hard-hitting Airstreams, or you can go for max Quakes to boost up your Lapras or your Necrozma, or even your Incin for that matter. Okay, so really good. So we have 2 Intimidators on the team. We've got Fake Out, we've got Redirection, we have an aggressive Screen Setter, we have Speed Control with Tailwind and Trick Room. Okay, a Trick Room abuser. We got a lot of tools here. We have an Airstream user, so there's enough where this is actually a solid, consistent team. Okay, so now let's just finish off the EVs, the items, and the movesets, and then we'll take a look at some key damage calcs and a couple sample battles. All right, so let's just go into the next part of the video. Okay, so I feel like Necrozma, obviously you want your Sunsteel Strike, you know, that's your main stat move, and of course you want Earthquake. And what's good about this is you can Earthquake next to your Tornadus, and you can Earthquake next to your Landorus, so there's some good synergy there. And you know, again, this becomes max Steel Spike and this becomes max Quake. So you're boosting your defenses and you're abusing your weakness policy to get a +2 proc where, you know, you don't have to invest everything in your attack stat. You can go into your bulk. And I don't know if you noticed, but Necrozma's bulk is insane. Like, the HP is honestly solid. 97 is good. Base 127 defense, base 109 special defense. Prism armor that makes super effective moves do only 3/4. Again, the main thing is you have to EV this so that you can survive either or both Urshifu Wicked Blow or Calyrex Shadow Rider Astral Barrage, and there is a way where we can do both, and I'll show you that. And it doesn't even involve Lapras screens. The screens from Lapras is going to help, but you can EV this so that you don't have to rely on the screens to live the Astral Barrage or the Wicked Blow. But let's just finish off the rest of the mons here. So I feel like with Tornadus, we obviously have to go for Hurricane. This is our stab move, and it's gonna be accurate once you get Max Geyser Rain going from the Lapras. And then here is gonna be Brutal Swing. This is what's gonna proc our Weakness Policy on the Necrozma. And then you can just Dynamax this and go ham, right? So just imagine like this was Metagross. It's the same concept. And then from here, you can go like Taunt, you can go Icy Wind, you can go Protect. Any of those moves is fine, right? But I like just Protect, just in case, you know, I need to survive one turn, let my Tailwind expire, and then I can reset my Tailwind next turn. Okay, and then from here, honestly, because I'm so afraid of Regieleki to a degree because of Lapras Torn, even though I have a Landorus, I am gonna at least go Wakanberry on this. So this way I know I can take one electric attack from that demon Regieleki, right? And then from here, Lapras. Okay, so we're gonna use the same Lapras that we used in our Zacian Lapras Marowak video, our Whack Dog video, as I like to call it. We're gonna go Life Orb here, Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Thunder is the set, and then Protect as the final move, right? So we've got 4 of these mons, 3 actually. Now for Incineroar, of course we're gonna go Flare Blitz. This is gonna hurt a lot. Now here we're going to go with a couple moves here. So I like Assault Vest Incineroar. The main reason I like Assault Vest Incineroar is because I can go Adamant. Okay, I can go my Adamant 116 build, which is the second bump. Alright, so if you're new to the channel, again, I have a Nature in Adamant, and when I have the slider at 0, watch what happens here. 150, and then if I go to 36, you see how it just bumped up by 2, right? When you were at 28, you were at 152, and then one more, you're at 154. You skip the 153 because this is what we call an EV bump. Again, if you don't know what EV bumps are, let me know in the comments and I'll explain it to you more in depth. But again, I just wanted to show this just in case you were a new viewer and you didn't know. All right. Then the second bump is 80 more EVs. So 36 plus 80 is 116. So if I go to the second bump here, all right, so notice how it's 163. Then if I go to 116, boom, 165. So this is the second bump here. But then again, the reason why I like Assault Vest Incineroar is I can take special attacks. And like a Regieleki, you know, Thunderbolt or Max Lightning, or sometimes even the Lapras Hydro Pump if they're not strong enough, and then I can survive and then just, you know, pivot out if I need to. But I am gonna go pivot out with my U-turn, and I'm gonna go Throat Chop here. Okay, I think this is still a good move in Series 11, and it stops other Incineroars from going with their Parting Shot. Okay, and then our Amoongus. So what's funny about this Amoongus is, okay, I'm gonna go Focus Sash here. Spore, Rage Powder. All right, Pollen Puff is good, and the reason why I like Pollen Puff is because you can heal your Necrozma if you have to. You can heal your Lapras, you can heal your Landorus, you can heal your Incin if it comes down to it. So Pollen Puff is a really good move on Amoongus. I know it's passive. You might even prefer a Rillaboom in this slot just so that you can get a second Fake Out user. But I like Amoongus just so that I can abuse Trick Room. And what's good with Amoongus on a Lapras team and Landorus is because of Regenerator and with screens, you can pivot your Amoongus in and out. And it's not going to be taking that much damage because of screens. And then you can reset its health, get it back to full, and then get your Focus Sash back, right? I've actually done this in battles where like I've had to pivot my Amoongus in and out and then just get it back to full health and get my Sash back. So it's actually really nice to do. And then of course the last slot is Protect. Okay, so you can see the synergy going on here. You can see the makeup of the squad and how it works. Okay, Landorus here, this is our Sun check, so of course we're gonna go Lumberry here, just so that we can at least take one Sleep Powder or one Spore from an opposing Amoongus and not have to worry about it. Or if teams want to burn us with Will-O-Wisp, then we're fine. So I really like that, especially when we go for Swords Dance, right? So Earthquake, again, this is Max Quake, Max Airstream with Fly, and then Max Rock Fall with Rock Slide. Good against Charizard and other flying types, you know, just in case we don't bring Lapras into the battle. But yeah, so this is it. This is our This is our 6 in terms of the move set. We've done a few of the EVs, I think. I think it was just Instant that we're going Adamant 116. But now that we have the items and the moves, now let's just go ahead and take a look at the EVs. Alright, so let's take a look at Necrozma's EV set. So let's look at the speed tier first. So anytime I have like a bulky Mon, like a Metagross, or something that's like a mid-tier speed Mon, you know, I think to myself, okay, I know I'm going to click Trick Room to underspeed like the bigger threats like a Zacian, or even like a Groudon, something, a Kyogre, something else that's not coming to my mind. But yeah, those are like some big threats. Maybe not Kyogre, Kyogre is different. But anytime I have that, I like 112. Okay, the reason why I like 112 is because with Tailwind, I can outspeed Calyrex Shadow and then potentially KO it with a Dynamax move. So I do like that, and I'm slow enough where if I click Trick Room, then I can underspeed some bigger threats like a Charizard, for example, or something else like a Regieleki. But the point is, this is like a speed where like it's good in Tailwind because you outspeed Calyrex Shadow, and it's still okay in Trick Room. Okay, so then from here, obviously, I'm not going to go Brave though. I don't think you need the 0 speed. I think it's totally fine to stay Adamant here, because again, if I go Brave, then I'm losing my speed value. And if you look here, the first bump is already at 20 EV investment, right? Because we went from 196 to 198. I think we can go second bump, and that's enough, right? And that second bump is another 80 EVs invested, and that's going to be at 100. So I definitely like this. All right, and then from here, now we can start EVing for Calyrex and also Urshifu. Alright, so then from here, what I want to try and do is look at the HP mark and then look at the defenses and special defenses, because again, I'm trying to live those 2 Mons. So at the very least, I want to optimize my weather chip here. So let's go to 191. I think this is fine. So this is 148 investment. And what that does is, again, from hail damage, 191 divided by 16, it'll pretty much give you the decimal ending in 9, right? So you're gonna get 11.9 when you do 191 divided by 16, which rounds down to 11. So you're only gonna take 11 points of hail chip per turn, right? So that's how you you know, cheat the system. And then from here, excuse me, you just need 36 EVs in special defense, and believe it or not, this is all you need to live a Astral Barrage, Life Orb, Calyrex Shadow, because thanks to Prism Armor, right? And then the rest is I can put in defense, and what this also does is it lets you live Choice Banded, Urshifu, Wicked Blow, believe it or not. So that's also kind of cool as well. But what you can also do is just if you want an even number, like you can put this at 100 and then put this at 108, because then what this does is you get an even number for your Swords Dance, because now instead of 209, then you can go to 210. So I think that's totally fine. But again, if you want to, like, you know, 100% live it, then you can just do it like this. But the thing is, when you have 100 defense, you're at a perfect 160. So it's a nice even number when you get a max Steel Spike. But if you don't care, then 161 is fine. It's again, the goal has been achieved. We live the Urshifu Choice Band Wicked Blow, and we live the Calyrex Shadow Astral Barrage, and I'll show you that damage calc when we get to the damage calcs, right? But now let's just look at the Tornadus. So now with the Tornadus here, I'm gonna go a little bit bulky and a little bit slower than most Torns. So we're still gonna go timid. But all we need is to outspeed base 100s, right? So we're just going to go to 168 here. So this will outspeed stuff like Charizard, Entei, Zapdos, Regigigas, and then we can just go for our Tailwind, and then we'll be perfectly fine. And then what I also want to do is, again, optimize my weather damage. So this way we're still relatively bulky. So I'm going to go to 175 here. So 175 HP, again, divided by 16 is going to go to 10.9, and which rounds down to 10. So you're only going to take 10 points of damage per turn from your Sand and your Hail Chip. Okay, and then from here, just do a little bit of defense and special defense, and then the rest in your special attack. And that's really all I need. I don't need like the hardest hitting Tornadus in the world. I just need to be able to tank a few hits, you know, that one electric attack, and then just be able to get up my Tailwind, and you know, I'm fine. And then proc my policy with Brutal Swing. That's really all I need Torn to do. Okay, Lapras here. So we're going to use the same exact spread that we used in the Zacian Lapras video. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, go ahead and do so. But again, I like to run my Lapras relatively quickly, and I like to go to 95 here. This is just so that I can go before most Incineroars. So this way they don't click Parting Shot and then I'm big sad, right? So we always want to KO with Lapras here, and modest 196 is going to be able to do that here. So this is going to get us to that bump, right? You see when we're at 141. I said 111 like 3 times. 141, then we're going to go to 143, and that's the bump. And then we're going to optimize our HP numbers. So 219, because remember, Life Orb Chip, you take 1/10 of your HP per turn. And again, remember, Pokemon rounds down. So 219 divided by 10 is going to give you 21.9, which rounds down to 21. So you're only going to take 21 points of damage per turn, whereas if you went to 220, now you're taking 22 damage per turn. So we're cheating the system yet again. We just need 1 point in the special defense, and then the rest goes in defense. And what this does is that when you're Dynamax, it lets you live Adamant, Rillaboom 252, Wood Hammer, which is a pretty cool calc if you ask me. All right. Now, Incin, we said we were going to go Adamant 116. What this does is it allows you to OHKO any non-bulk invested 252 Jolly-zation, right? So if there's anyone here running 252 Jolly-zation, sorry, you're going to have to come up with something else, because this Incin, it's going to OHKO it with Flare Blitz. And then from here, just want some extra bulk here. 236 is all we need. I just need enough speed to outspeed my own Turbo Shroom, right? Because we're gonna go Timid Amoongus, and then 68 in the defense mark and 4 in special defense. And with this bulk, you can live a Zacian close combat after an Intimidate, right? So that's always a good calc to have on hand. And we're relatively offensive, so we can fully take advantage of Tailwind. Sometimes you may even need to Dynamax the Incin on certain games, you know, go for, you know, max flares. You can even go max strike for speed control. You can go max darkness to drop special defenses for your Lapras if you need to, although I don't know too many scenarios where you can do that. But again, sometimes you might need to max your Incin, and it's totally fine. Now for the Amoongus, this is the troll Amoongus. So we're gonna go Timid. All right. So we're actually not gonna go 0 speed. We're gonna go Timid Amoongus, and then just do this. And now after Tailwind, you're at 180. You're faster than Thunderous, so you can just click Spore on that thing, and then their Dynamax is wasted. So I always like the Devil Shroom, aka Turbo Shroom. So yeah, that's the relatively simple Amoongus spread. And again, you have the screens to help you with the regenerator recovery. But yeah, if you also wanted to technically optimize this, you can go to 219 for the regenerator, and then just a tiny bit in the defense bulk, something like this. But again, it's not necessary, and then you can just put 4 in special attack just for that extra pollen puff damage. But you know, not completely necessary, but if you want, there it is. So I'll just leave it like that. Okay, Landorus, this one's a relatively simple one. Again, I'm just gonna go with Jolly here, and the main thing here is the weather damage and the speed tier. So we're gonna go to 149, but actually 150, and I'll tell you why. Because 149, after +1 Airstream, you outspeed Calyrex Shadow, but I want to go to 150 to outspeed those speed creepers, right? So that's what it comes down to. And then from here, I'm just going to go up to, again, 175 just to optimize my Hail Chip damage, and then just 4 points in special defense, 4 in defense, and the rest I can just dump into my attack stat. And it's a nice even number, which is good for Swords Dance, so that always helps a lot. All right, and yeah, I believe that's what we have here. So let me just pull up this paste like this, and let me just make this a little bigger. But yeah, I think this is a relatively solid squad as it is. Why don't we just go ahead and test it in a few sample battles? I always forget that I'm supposed to do damage calcs before sample battles. Alright, so let's look at the Necrozma spread. So first let's look at Calyrex Shadow Rider. Where's that standard set? So standard Calyrex with just Life Orb. Again, you live that Astral Barrage. He procs your policy, so now you're at +2. And then you kiss it goodnight with the Sunsteel Strike. So there's always that. Again, really nice investment. The fact that it works out the way it is really cool. And then from here, you can go to Urshifu. I'll show you without any item. Like, assume this was Focus Sash. Again, Wicked Blow, just not doing that. I mean, it does a lot, obviously, right? But not even close to OHKOing this thing. So, pretty cool. And then again, he procs your policy, and then you just smash it with a Sunsteel Strike. And then if you were to put like a Choice Band on this, let's take a look at Choice Band Ursh. So the Ursh actually, oh, I was mistaken. What was I thinking? I completely apologize. I meant to say that this was a roll, but it's a favorable roll. And you know, 37% chance to OHKO. Yeah, there's a good chance it could, but a favorable roll. I mean, if I meant to say in the video that we're gonna live the Astral Barrage, but then get a roll on the Urshifu. That's what I meant. But this is, again, this is choice banded, okay? But if you just go with regular Urshifu, that's a guarantee to hit KO. I'm sorry, I apologize, but yeah, again, still a very good calc. And if you want to just look at like Zacian stuff, so we'll go standard Zacian here. I mean, close combat, again, still not great. I mean, this what's his name? Necrozma just takes it relatively well. I want to see what Charizard looks like. Let's see a damage from like Gmax Charizard here. Let's go blank set here, and let's go timid. I think we have to max to live this, but I'm just generally curious because this is actually one calc that I did not take a look at. Let's go to Sun. Let's go Heat Wave, and I'll even put in Blast Burn just because. Blast Burn. This is level 50. Yeah, it is. Okay, so Heat Wave, we live. That's a pretty solid roll that we can live Heat Wave. I mean, it is doubles. So Sun. Oh, I didn't even put Life Orb in. Oh, actually, I don't think we live Life Orb. Yeah, actually, we still die. What if we had Dynamax? Okay, so we'll Jesus, the Blast Burn still just smashes this thing. That's insane. Good job, Zard. What about Dynamax? Yeah, Wildfire just takes out our Necrozma. Okay, so I mean, we're not gonna put a Necrozma in front of a Zard anyway. We have Landorus for that, but it's good to know that calc. All right, so at least we know at least the main ones, Calyrex and Urshifu. So let's take a look at some of the others. Alright, so let's look at Incineroar next. So this is our AV Incin. Let's look at the standard Zacian set. And again, there's your one-hit KO from an Incineroar. This is against the Jolly Zacian with no bulk. And if we do Intimidate it, which basically brings it to neutral, it does have a 6.3% chance to OHKO. But again, it played the lottery at that point. If you're going to do it, I'll take my chances. So yeah, it's really good. It's a solid Incineroar calc, I like to say. I don't think we live Landorus Earthquake, right? Let me just take a look at that. Let's just say standard Lando. If we bring it to -1, and this goes for a max Quake. Actually, we do, yeah. So we have enough investment. This is actually pretty cool. We have enough investment where after Intimidate, we live a 252 Landorus max Quake. So that's pretty good. I like that a lot. What about like Lapras? So let's say Lapras. Let's say first let's take a look at Gmax. 252 Modest, but no Life Orb. No Life Orb. Hydro Pump. Okay, yeah, actually we live Max Geyser from Lapras. Modest 252 because we have an Assault Vest. Max it'll do is 85, so that's pretty cool. What if it was Life Orb? Let's take a look at that. If this was a Life Orb 252 Lapras, okay, so it's a roll, about a 56% chance to roll. I mean, I expect it. You're a water type, you're modest, you have a life orb, I expect it. But the fact that I still have a pretty good chance to live is kind of good, in all honesty. And if you want to actually live, then you could just make this like a relatively slow Incin, and then just put like special defense points like this, where you can just put 84 and then just put this as 4. And now Max Geyser only has a 12.5% chance to KO you if you wanted to go this route, right? But again, I liked having my Incin a little bit faster, so there's that. But hey, the fact that I have a good roll, I'll take it. I will very much take it. All right, so those are the important calcs there for Incin. Let's take a look at our own Lapras next. Okay, so this is the Lapras calcs. I showed this in the Zacian Lapras video, but I'll show it again regardless. So let's take a look at Rillaboom. A standard Rillaboom set. Okay, so let's look at a 252 Miracle Seed Rillaboom. That's not Dynamax. So here we'll go max. First of all, we very much live Grassy Glide, of course, but we also live the Wood Hammer from a Miracle Seed Adamant 252 Rillaboom, which is very, very impressive for a Lapras here. And again, if you intimidate this thing, where you drop it to -1, actually you still die from that Wood Hammer, but again, if you're maxed, then it just does even less. So it's good to know. But yeah, the other thing is the Regieleki calc. So let's put in Regieleki. Let's go standard Eleki. So if it's just Thunderbolt, again, we live that comfortably. But if this was like Dynamax and you go for Max Lightning, this is a Timid Magnet Regieleki. Timid Magnet, you live Max Lightning, okay, which is really all you really want to do, right? And then you can just KO it right back with like G-Max, Resonance, and stuff like that. But well, probably not KO it, but I'm looking at it right here, but still do like pretty big damage, and at least get your Resonance up is what I meant. So that's always cool. And if there was rain already, then Max Geyser just auto kills it, even if it max it. Again, 252 Eleki. Can you live if you're modest? I don't think so. You have a roll, a pretty good roll, 18.8%. Not a great roll, but a pretty good roll. 82% chance to live, I'll take it. I'll take it. In all honesty, I will very much accept that roll. What about like a Zacian close combat here? Do I live that? I do. I do live the Zacian close combat. So that's always nice. Do I live it if it was Adamant? Let's take a look. I actually lived the Behemoth Blade if it was Adamant. So +1 Behemoth Blade Zacian Adamant. We live it, right? 6.3 chance to KO. So that's cool. I'll accept that calc too. So really, really nice. And then what about like Ursh? So Urshifu. Let's go here. I know it's black classes. Close combat. All right, so that's not killing either. So we're fine. We're chilling here. But yeah, those are the important Lapras calcs to know offhand. So yeah, glad you like them. Let's keep our. So I showed the Amoongus. I showed Incin. I showed Necrozma. Now I did Lapras. I believe that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, the one thing I do want to know is at least the Torn. At least I'll show the Tornadus. The Wakanberry Torn. Let's bring back the Regieleki. I don't think I need to show this, but you know, just in case people want to know. Yeah, see, like Thunderbolt or even like Max Lightning doesn't kill our Wakanberry Tornadus. Oh wait, this is actually Max. Okay, hold on, never mind. Okay, so Thunderbolt after Wakanberry still does not kill our Tornadus, which is pretty good. I like that a lot. Of course, if this maxes, then we're sad, but you know, go ahead, waste your max. We have a Landorus in the back. We have a Landorus in the back. But yeah, really, really nice with the Torn. What about our own Landorus? There's one thing I do want to look at with our own Lando. Let's go with our custom set here. 84. This is actually a little bit higher. This is 150, and then this is I want to say 212. Yep. And this is 4, and this is 4. So Zacian Behemoth Blade is what I want to live. So that's a pretty favorable roll for Zacian, but if I make it neutral, then I live it. All right, so the Zacian has to be neutral if I want to live the Behemoth Blade. Otherwise, it's a roll, but it's not a very favorable roll, as you can see here. Again, this is Jolly 252 Zacian, and we are Dynamax. But I'm also curious at something else here. What if we had a defense bonus from, you know, Necrozma? If we had a defensive bonus, then we actually still again live the Behemoth Blade. So that's good. That's good to know. So again, those are some of the important calcs. And again, when you're team building, you want to calc for like the big threats, right? So I showed you how I did it. And now we can take a look at some of the sample battles. Okay, it's a Zamazenta team with a Sun Core. This looks like you could just put Zacian on it and it's a little bit better. So he could do a couple things here. Zamazenta, it probably has the Clover tech of Howl. And that's probably, I want to say that's offensive Defiant Thunderous. And there's a Clefairy for the Garchomp, Redirection, Swords Dance, and Venu Torkoal. We know how this goes. So he's got actually a solid squad. Just probably is a little bit better with Zacian, but he's probably going for Howl plays, maybe even coaching. God knows. But yeah, I feel like if I just lead Landorus here, I feel like I just win the game because I intimidate everything here, and I put more pressure on the Venusaur and the Torkoal. I don't even care if I give that Defiant Thunderous Intimidate because Landorus beats Thunderous. I don't know if you guys know that. So many people are scared to bring Landorus into a Defiant Thunderous game. No. You should do that. You should, because he can't kill you. You can kill him. All right, and I'll demonstrate that. That's exactly what happened in this game. So I'm going to lead it. There it is. He leads the Thunderous, and there's the Zacian. All right, so I know a few things already. But anyway, so I'll intimidate the dog. And I'll give him Defiant, right? But again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to redirect everything, and I'm going to Swords Dance, and then I'm just going to kill him, because even if he maxes right here, right now, can't touch me. So I'm going to do that, and let's see what the Zamazenta does. And it is actually coaching, so there's a reason why I prefer Howl over coaching, and you're going to see it in a second. But yeah, he gets his Airstream boost, and there's my Swords Dance. Okay, so again, keep in mind the Zamazenta is still -1. He didn't Howl, he used coaching. So right now the threat is his Thunderous. I don't care about this dog. This dog does no damage, okay? This is why Howl is better than coaching, in my opinion. Because even with this defense boost, I'm +2. You still die. I don't care what your defense boost is. So that's why Howl is better, all right, in my opinion. Because then at least you can put some pressure with the dog. But now my Amoongus, because I had a Sash, I can redirect your dog attack, and you know, even a +2 Airstream doesn't kill me. And then you just die to Rockfall, right? So I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to max here. I'm going to redirect the Zamazenta attack. There it is, Behemoth Blast. He didn't even go for Airstream. He went for Max Darkness. Why he went for Max Darkness, I have no idea. But now you just die to Rockfall. So great job on that coaching, okay? Good coaching there. There's the Torkoal, and here comes my Tornadus. So this is good because now I can just click Tailwind, and now I outspeed everything. So that's why I said, you know, don't be scared sometimes to bring your Landorus against Thunderous. You give it Defiant. So what? What is he gonna hit you with? Nothing. All right, just click Swords Dance and you win. So anyway, I want to get rid of the Torkoal here because this is the thing that puts pressure against Necrozma Dusk Mane, which I have in the back, and this already reveals he has Venusaur. So if I can get a Spadef boost, that's good against Venusaur, and I don't care what this dog does, it's -1. So I live another attack. Yeah, see, there it is. You see, if he hit me a couple times, right? So if he was Howl, if he was neutral, maybe he had a chance, right? But he's coaching. So all right, here's the Venusaur. I mean, what's that gonna do? I mean, I'm just gonna protect so I can still keep my Torn on the field. A nice Cobra Berry. See, this is why I don't like Cobra on Venu, right? Because if you're +2, you still die. And now I just bring in Necrozma. I click Brutal Swing. I win the game. I click Earthquake. So yeah, again, always go Howl. Stop coaching. All right, no coaching on Zamazenta. Always Howl. Let's look at another one. Alright, this guy's memeing with an all poison team. Sure, why not? I'll play along. So I'll just show how this turned out. So I'm just gonna go Tornado here because everything dies to Earthquake. He does have Tailwind on his team, but he can't Dynamax the Tornadus. So I feel like if I just click Tailwind and Earthquake, he could protect, but you know, still okay. And he can set his own Tailwind. I'm fine with this. But he actually maxes the Crobat. I've never seen Dynamax Crobat before, and he protects the Etern. That's a good play. And I don't know what he's going for. Max Ooze? I would imagine he actually just goes for the Airstream. We lived that. We are a bulky Tornadus. And now we just go into Lapras here. I don't want my Torn to die just yet. I lived the Dynamax Cannon, and I just killed the Eternidus. So great job there with your Dynamax Cannon. He goes for another Airstream. He probably could have killed my Landorus, but he decided not to. And now I just, yeah, I mean, he clicks Airstream, we live it because Landorus has the Clover Bell's EV spread, and now we just get another Airstream boost on the Crobat. There's the Freeze Dry, and there goes his Dynamax. Alright, and he already lost his Restricted. So there's the Amoongus, that's fine here. I mean, Airstream again, make Lapras faster. He's not even Sash. So yeah, then we just hit the Drapion, and this is already over. So he kills my Landorus. But again, I have everything I have in the back. You know, I just click Tailwind and click Freeze Dry and GG's. So nice all poison team there. Let's look at one more. Okay, this actually looks like a Series 10 team with Gyarados. So this is actually a solid team because that Thundurus could either be Defiant or Prankster. I have no idea. I 100% think he brings the Dark Urshifu because that's really the only thing that's threatening Necrozma here. Everything else I don't care about. So as long as I have an answer for Urshifu, then I'm totally fine here. So I'm just gonna go with. So he actually leads Zacian and Urs. So I feel like Landorus is good in the back. And here's my Torn Lapras play. So I was thinking about going for Tailwind and then just getting up my Resonance. But then the Urshifu doesn't even care about it. So I don't want to waste my max on my Lapras just yet. I'd rather just pivot this out and go into Landorus and get an Intimidate off. Alright, so I'll go here. I'll get my Tailwind up first. Just in case I do die and he doubles up. I still have Necrozma in the back. But he actually just tries to double up the Lapras, thinking I would max it. And he actually clicks Close Combat from the Urshifu. So that's good. He goes into Gyarados to intimidate my own Landorus. And he Sucker Punches and crits my Lando. I couldn't tell you that I was expecting that. But we land the Hurricane and we get the Urshifu. And now he actually maxes the Gyarados here. I actually didn't want to max just yet because I didn't think he would actually max this thing. But there's the policy. And here's my Sunsteel Strike. I deal decent chip damage. But he actually just clicks Airstream into Torn. And again, there's the bulk that we invested. See, it pays off against things like this. So we have one more turn of Tailwind. I'm just going to swap my Tornadus now into my Lapras. This way, I can get Tailwind again next turn. Even if he does kill the Lapras, I'm fine. And I'm just going to get some Steel Spike bonuses just to help against Zacian later on. And also help me against this Gyarados. He clicks Fake Out into my Necrozma. I'm not sure why. But there goes the Rillaboom after a +2 Steel Spike. Another Airstream. Lapras takes it because we have a defense boost now. Okay, and now it's just Zacian in the back. Again, this is fine. He goes for another Airstream into Necrozma. That's chip damage. But he actually, for some reason, double targets the Necrozma. And he loses the Zacian for free. And Lapras just clicks Freeze Dry and he loses everything. So I thought something would protect there, but nothing protected. And he just lost when I got into proper position with the Necrozma. So lots of good combos that you saw in the 3 battles. And a lot of speed control that we got with our Tailwind. We didn't even need to click Trick Room here, and the Amoongus was important in the second battle. But yeah, overall it feels solid. I like how it plays, and yeah, let's just go ahead and look at the pace one more time. So yeah, that's our Necrozma squad. Again, we have the weakness policy on it, and we're EV to survive, non-choice banded Wicked Blow, and we can live Astral Barrage, Life Orb, right? So that's always cool. Tornadus, Wakanberry to take that important electric attack and just overall optimize bulk for weather damage and enough speed where you're faster than base speed 100s. Lapras, again, good to survive Regieleki, and Rillaboom Woodhammer deals enough damage where you can OHKO Incineroars that aren't Assault Vested, and our own Assault Vest Incineroar, good to OHKO Zacian, can live Max Quake Landorus at -1, and just overall a very bulky mon to have on the team. Amoongus Redirection support, optimize HP for regenerator recovery. After Tailwind, you're faster than Thunderous, so you can go for a fast Spore and laugh at him. So that's always a play. And then the Landorus, again, just faster than Calyrex after +1, and just optimize HP for hail damage overall. So yeah, I think it's a solid squad. A lot of cool tools on it. Again, you got Fake Out, you got Double Intimidate, you got Redirection, you got Aggressive Screens, you got Tailwind and Trick Room on the squad. So I feel that there's no reason why you can't get some dubs with this Necrozma squad. So we'll make a rental code soon, but yeah, give it a go. Let me know how you do, and hope you enjoyed it. Happy Thanksgiving.